Good evening, folks. This is Ron Tyler with Emergency Management Associates coming to you live from the Crossroads of the West in Salt Lake City, Utah. We have been struggling with a lot of information that has come through today, and we want to share it with you. The time right now is 6:32 p.m. Mountain Standard Time in Salt Lake City. We have a lot of information. We've been gathering it all day since early this morning, and we wish to share it with you. First off, I am not going to start off right now with earthquakes. However, I am going to talk about what has been going on all day today. If you remember last night's program, newscast from the White House, the announcement about President Trump asking people to work together and to minimize contact with each other to try to stop the coronavirus from spreading as rapidly as it has. First off, the National Basketball Association, as of last night, has shut down the basketball operations for infinity for right now. Anytime in the foreseeable future, we will no longer have National Basketball League action on the basketball courts. The National Hockey League has shut down operations as well. The Baseball League, the the National League and the American League have canceled all further games until further notice, at least a month, maybe 2 months, or even longer, maybe the entire season. They have cut the season short as of tomorrow morning. There will be no more spring league training and no beginning to the baseball playing anytime soon. They will announce the start of the season if it starts at a later date. So all three sports have cut back. Here in Salt Lake City, most of the schools have cut back as much as they possibly can. Not all of the school districts have shut down here in Salt Lake City. Only one school district, and that is over in Murray, Utah, which is also a suburb of Salt Lake, just to the south of Salt Lake. It has canceled all classes effective tomorrow morning. No more classes. Students got picked up from school today by their parents, and the school district said it would remain open with its teachers and staff until all the students have been reunited with their families. No student would be left unattended. The school district where my son goes to school left a message this morning. Let me see if I can go find that message really quick. In fact, there's a couple messages that I want everybody to know about. The school district here that my son goes to school with has left us a message. This afternoon, after statements by Utah Governor Gary Herbert, state health authorities and educational officials regarding the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, as it is previously communicated to parents, local school districts, including the one my son goes to, take their cues in matters of public health from the Salt Lake County Health Department. While health authorities are encouraging those who are ill to remain home, they have not recommended the closure of schools in my son's school district. As such, the schools will remain open until further notice. That said, we recognize and respect the rights of parents and guardians to make decisions that are in the best interest of their children and their families. To keep families informed as they make these decisions, we offer the following updates and information. Effective immediately, Based on recommendations of local health authorities, the school district is suspending all out-of-state, district-related employee and student travel through April 15th. As that time approaches, we will work with local health authorities to reevaluate and advise extending or rescinding that recommendation based on what is happening nationally with COVID-19 at the time. Employees who have plans to travel on district business in the United States between now and April 15th, 2020 should cancel the trip. Parents of students who have plans to travel on school trip should cancel their flights and work to secure refunds or ticket vouchers for future travel. School advisors are working with travel booking agencies and tickets and hotels in the hopes of securing refunds. Please keep in mind that full or partial refunds are not guaranteed. More information will be forthcoming about reimbursing families. The district also encourages employees to avoid personal travel within the U.S. and internationally. And if they do travel, they may be restricted from coming and returning back to work, depending on their health and risk of exposure. Effective immediately, all field trips and mass gatherings that involve more than 100 people, including school events, dances, assemblies, performances, and employee professional development, are canceled until further notice. Smaller scale after-school programs and activities, such as tutoring, community school programs, will continue as scheduled and planned. Athletic teams and performing groups may continue to practice if the total number of participants does not exceed 100. The district will follow the decision of Utah High School Activities Association to suspend all athletic competitions and activities beginning March 16th until further notice. Per state guidance, the schools are taking additional steps to minimize the congregation of students in close proximity. For more information, please contact your child's school. We understand some students have special health and family considerations. We have directed schools to work with families in matters of school attendance. Parents are the ultimate arbiters in determining whether to keep their children home from school. Keep in mind, however, that students may be expected to make up any missed work when they return to school. Also, teachers may not be in a position to immediately communicate missed classwork or assignments. Students have been directed by health authorities to be under quarantine or self-isolation, should notify their school to make arrangements for the continuation of educational services. In the event of school closures, we are working on plans for students to access learning opportunities. If you are an employee in a high-risk category, over 60 years of age and/or immunocompromised, please contact your immediate supervisor so the district can discuss providing accommodations. Employees or students who have had contact with someone displaying symptoms or who have concerns of any kind should contact their healthcare provider, their supervisor or school principal, and the state COVID-19 hotline. Keep in mind that this guidance may change as we respond to rapidly changing dynamics. The district administrative team is working with local health authorities to monitor the situation on a daily basis and will publish regular updates at the district website. We thank you in advance for your patience, understanding, and cooperation as we navigate this issue in our community. Sincerely, the district. Okay, that's what my son's school district put out today. I'm going to read you what a local grocery store, and it's just not a local store, it's a mass chain of stores. And I would hope that your stores would be doing the same thing. Our mission is to value our associates and exceed our customers' expectations. That mission couldn't be more representative of our focus in this moment of concerns about the impact of coronavirus COVID-19 developed. In order to help ensure a healthy shopping environment and also to protect our associates' well-being, we have taken extensive preventative measures to minimize the effects of coronavirus. We have added staff and hours to each of our stores to bolster this effort and double down on our frequency of environmental sanitizing. Our commitment to you and our associates is to remain open and continue to follow our standard operational practices to thoroughly clean our stores, restrooms, and sanitize food preparation equipment and other areas daily. Associates are regularly trained on hygiene practices for food handling. Associates have been provided with health information from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and have been informed to stay home if they're feeling ill. We are continuing to work closely with our suppliers and to ensure that our shelves are adequately stocked to meet the needs of our customers. We are following the guidance from the CDC and the Utah Department of Health to maintain our operations. Our top priority is the health and safety of our customers, associates, and the community. We are hopeful that the impact to Utahns from the coronavirus is minimal, but we understand the situation is emerging. We are monitoring closely and are confident that we are prepared to keep our stores open and safe. We are grateful for the trust that you have placed in us as your neighborhood grocer and will continue to share updates as they emerge. Sincerely, Matt, the owner-manager of the grocery chain. So that's what they have done. Okay. Now, I'm going to check something really quick before I share anything else with you, because I want to make sure that we are on the air and that everything is fine with us. So if you'll just bear with me while I do this quick check. I want to make sure that we're on the air and that we don't have any sound problems. Last night we had sound problems. Okay, folks, I've got the chat room open right now. Would you please tell me whether I have good audio or not? I want to make sure we have good audio. Sharon says, you sound great, Ron. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, everyone. I will keep the chat room open so I can monitor it while we're on the program today. But I want to continue. I've already told you some of the things that have gone on today. I'm going to continue sharing some information with you because depending on where you go to church will also depend on you knowing what is going on. Today, this afternoon, we got a message from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm going to read you that message in full. It states, excuse me. I still have a little bit of drainage going on. This is what the message says. All LDS Church gatherings are temporarily suspended worldwide. The First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12 Apostles of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints have announced beginning immediately. All public gatherings of church members are being temporarily suspended worldwide until further notice. This includes state conferences, which are ecclesiastical gatherings for members of the church in that area, leadership conferences and other large gatherings, all public work worship services, including sacrament meetings, branch, ward, and stake activities, and it goes on. This is a letter from the First Presidency and the Quorum of the 12 Apostles of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. The following letter dated March 12, 2020, to church members worldwide. Dear brothers and sisters, as promised in our letter of March 11, 2020, we continue to monitor the changing conditions related to COVID-19 throughout the world. We have considered the counsel of local church leaders, government officials, and medical professionals, and have sought the Lord's guidance in these matters. We now provide the following updated directions. Beginning immediately, all public gatherings of church members are temporarily being suspended worldwide until further notice. This includes stake conference, which are ecclesiastical area meetings of members of the church, leadership conferences and other large gatherings, all public worship services, including sacrament meetings, ward, branch, and stake activities. Where possible, please conduct any essential leadership meetings via technology. Specific questions may be referred to local priesthood leaders. Further direction related to other matters will be provided. Bishops should counsel with their stake president to determine how to make sacrament available to members at least once a month. We encourage members in their ministering efforts to care for one another. We should follow the Savior's example to bless and lift others. We bear our witness of the Lord's love during this time of uncertainty. He will bless you to find joy as you do your best to live the gospel of Jesus Christ in every circumstance. Sincerely, the First Presidency of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the 12 Apostles. That's what we got, the direction we got this afternoon from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, I believe that other religious organizations will probably follow suit. Now, I don't belong to a lot of those other organizations, granted. But what I want to do is to make sure that everybody understands the seriousness of this COVID-19. Again, the National Baseball Leagues have canceled all games effective immediately to cancel spring training and the beginning day of baseball. It's canceled for the time being. Second, the NHL and the National Basketball Association have canceled all of their games until further notice. Okay, that's what's going on. I wanted to make sure that all of you were aware of what is happening. And yes, Doobie, this does sound serious. The way the president talked last night in his 14-minute briefing to the rest of us in this country and around the world, because I'm sure that message went lickety-split around the world via satellite and everything else. He was very clear that he wanted to make sure that people were protected. He said that on several occasions during his speech. Yes, soccer too, Pamela. My boys love soccer and they love basketball. They're going to have to practice outside at the local basketball hoops that they have around the parks. But again, you have to be careful even then. That's going to be a parent's decision whether we have our kids go out and play in the parks. And right now it's just getting to be that time period where people are wanting to be outdoors as the temperatures warm up. Here in Salt Lake City, it was in the 50s today. By Sunday, it's supposed to be 61. Woohoo! Maybe we're going to have some spring. Trish says, I'm going to be homebound after tomorrow. Trish, I hope things are going to be all right. We are going to pray for you and everybody else in our family and everyone else around the world. The EMA family is an around the world family. We're international, and we have been since almost day one. Yes, Scooter Pie, Disneyland is closing as of Friday night into Saturday, which is unbelievable. My wife and I were discussing that this morning because I said, well, Disneyland might be next. And sure enough, before the end of today, we got message that Disneyland was also closing its doors effective Saturday morning. Claudette says schools are closed in Canada. Stores already out of Kleenex products. I showed you last night. In fact, I will show you it again. I will show you this again. This was Walmart yesterday. Okay. One section of the shelving, gone. Gone. Though this is emergency preparedness. In our Walmart store, there are two of them here in our city. In this particular Walmart store, this is an emergency preparedness foods, stuff you have to only add water to reconstitute it. Almost all of the emergency preparedness foods are gone. Gone. I couldn't believe it. Here is the toilet paper aisle. The toilet paper aisle. You can't see any toilet paper anywhere near here. It was gone. Paper towels and such, gone. Yes, Disneyland, including Universal Studios and Knott's Berry Farm and Six Flags. They're all closing. This particular aisle is also Kleenex and cleaning supplies. You notice there's hardly anything on these shelves either. There's hardly anything on those shelves. This is a cereal aisle. The bagged cereals, almost gone. Many of the spaces here and down in here, all of the cereal is gone. You can still see holes along the way down the aisle. When we got to the oatmeal area, there were 2 or 3 boxes of Quaker brand oatmeal, and that was all that was left. That was all that was left. You notice on this aisle, about halfway down the aisle down here, there's no product on any of the shelves. None. None. There's another bunch of food gone. Okay. So if that's an indication, folks, I don't know why, I really don't understand why that people have decided to take it upon themselves to wipe out, literally wipe out toilet paper. You can't eat it. Maybe they're thinking the stores are going to be closed. They're not going to be able to get any for a while. I don't know. Barb, thank you too. We also went to Costco yesterday afternoon. After Walmart, we went to Costco. We bought, you're only allowed to buy 2 cases of water. Last night before I went on the show, I brought 2 bottles of water over to my desk. Those 2 bottles of water had something in it. Had something in the water. You could smell it. After I opened it up, I could smell it. And then I took a sip of it. There's something toxic in that water. So I opened the other case that I bought and opened one of the bottles there. Same difference. Now, we weren't able to return that water to Costco today, but we will in the morning. But 2 cases of water that you're not able to drink, it smells of something like a gas type of smell, like ethanol or something. You can't drink it. And I tasted it, it tastes horrible. And yes, that's scary. But we have to return that water ASAP. Now, we have been buying cases upon cases of water for some time. I think we're going to be fine. Just listening, I asked the same question of my wife. Is somebody trying to poison us? 2 cases of water that were bad. 2 bottles in one case, and I opened a 3rd bottle from another case. I have a tester. I have a water tester. And it told me that the water was not safe to drink. It didn't tell me a chemical reading. I have a water tester. I've always had some kind of water tester with me, probably 30 years of this last 30 years of my life. I've always had a water tester. And Don Patoka, who's on here, he knows me. He knows me very well. Times and Signs, thank you for bringing me live on your page as well. Thank you so much. Marshall, I bought that water at Costco. Kirtland brand. Folks, if you go to a Costco or anywhere to get water, you can ask the clerk if you can briefly smell it and taste that bottle. And if it's bad, don't even buy it. I'm not sure if we can even return this water. And yes, it's only $2.95 a case. I don't even really care how much it costs. I'm going to get some more water, come heck or high water. Yes, Sheila, I know plastic's made of petroleum. Exactly right. Yeah, and if it gets left in the sun, please, guys, don't drink it. My kids and my wife have a habit of taking water out to the car and leaving it in the car so it gets baked in the sun, and I end up throwing it out, and they wonder why I'm wasting it. Yes, Pamela, that's a Costco brand. Yeah, it smells. If you smell it, it smells of some kind of petroleum-based kind of product. And I tasted it. I took a sip of 3 different bottles, and it was the same thing, the smell and the taste. So, folks, if you were to buy some water, when it gets up to the check stand, ask if you can take a sniff and make sure, 1, it smells like water, that there's no additive smell to it, and you can take a sip. And if it's good, no problem, you buy it and leave. But don't do like we did and expect to just be able to taste it when you get home, and then it's bad. Arlo, I had a can of some soda years ago, and the same thing happened. Okay. And I'll tell you a story. A long time ago, so many years ago, I had forgotten until just now. A friend of mine, we were up late one night, and I don't drink coffee. I like to smell usually, but I don't like the taste. But this one time my partner and I pulled into an AM PM, and he liked coffee, and he said, Ron, just taste it. I told him I didn't like the taste. I sipped it. It smelled like gasoline. He sipped it, the same thing. And we took the coffee up to the check stand at the 7-Eleven and pointed it out. And he said, well, I'll make you a new cup. My partner said, no, thanks, we'll go someplace else. And we left. And yes, Dawn, that's why we need an Alexa Pure purifier. Yeah, we do. We have a Brita. And it's full of purified water right now. And Jenny, you say your tap water smells like chlorine? Don knows me. He lives down the street from me. We are supposed to have the best water in Utah through our water company. But quite honestly, it still doesn't taste right. So we've had this Brita purifier for I don't know how many years, and we keep it clean. We wash it out, and then we put a new cartridge in it. Okay, but we also buy purified water. One of the reasons we use the Brita is to cook with and stuff. So I totally highly recommend that you do something seriously like that to keep you safe. To keep you safe. Be careful whatever you do. We are living in probably one of the worst trying times that I personally have ever been around. And yes, hippy dippy, that's a good point. Make sure the ring seal, make sure the ring seal is not tampered with. Okay, make sure the seal is still intact. The ring seal, make sure it's still intact with a screw off cover. And Pamela, I know about your water from the Pocono Mountains. I did a disaster drill, I think 2014 or something like that, in Hershey, Pennsylvania. It was the best water from the Pocono Mountains that I have ever tasted in my life. Well, I take that back. There was a natural spring in San Diego County up on top of Palomar Mountain where the telescope is. It was a natural spring, and you could actually take bottles up and take home bottled water from that spring, and people did. And now they put a tap on it, so you have to. The water just doesn't actually keep on running like it always did. They put a spigot on it where you can turn it on and turn it off, so you can still get water. It's still free, but now they've tried to save the water so it would last longer in the years. I hope that's why. But between the Palomar Mountain water that we got from going up there and the Pocono Mountain spring water was awesome. I love it. Nicole, welcome to our program. We appreciate you being here. We really do. And all of those that, I'm sorry I didn't say this when I first came on the air like I usually do. We want to welcome everyone that is normally listening to our program or who will be joining us as we go throughout the program this evening. We want to make sure everybody feels welcome. And even those that will join us on a delayed broadcast basis, either later tonight or tomorrow, whenever, please know how welcome you are. You're very welcome to be here. Last night, speaking of welcome, I always welcome everybody, but there was somebody in the chat room last night who left me a message this morning, a hateful message, and he called us every name in the book and told us that we were spreading fear porn and how dare we even be broadcasting, et cetera, et cetera. And I banned him. He's no longer able to come and access the program or anything. Those kind of people, we don't need. I want to make sure people that want to be here are here. And before I banned him, I gave him that message too. You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to be here. You can turn it off. But he said he was going to continue to harass me and harass all of us. So I banned him. No problem. Yes, just listen. I do ignore the trolls. But when he said that he was going to continue to harass you and I, no, not going to allow it. Sorry. We don't do that kind of stuff. Yes, Harlow's Cafe Noir says China's foreign minister is claiming the U.S. military or army personnel took the virus there during the military Olympics held in Wuhan in 2019. I don't think so. No, we know who did who did the virus. It was geoengineered, and it wasn't our army that did it. And some people claim, oh, it's the open air meat market. No, it wasn't. And it wasn't bats. It wasn't bats. Yes, he'll probably change the handle and come back. And when he does, we'll ban that one again. Maybe he'll figure it out. Sorry, I have sinus issues. Storm Gypsy says, how many other states have declared states of emergency? Right now, I believe it's Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, and Montana, South Dakota, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio, Indiana, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Florida, South and North Carolina, Georgia has declared a state of emergency. Alabama has declared a state of emergency. New York has declared a state of emergency. New Jersey, Virginia, and Maine and Washington, D.C. have all declared emergencies. I believe Hawaii beat us to the punch about 2 weeks ago when they declared a statewide health emergency regarding the coronavirus, so they can make sure that, and Wisconsin too, Marshall, Hawaii wanted to make sure that they had everything under control and make sure their health department was on top of everything. And no, every place is going under state of emergency. Today, up in Summit County, Summit County, Utah, where Park City is, those of you that know where Utah Park City is, that's called Summit County up there. It encompasses a lot of different towns up in that area on top of the Wasatch Mountains. Summit County has declared a state of emergency there. They are not allowing gatherings of any more than 50 people. No gatherings of more than 50 people up in Summit County, Park City, Duchesne, and other small towns up there. But yeah, I thought PA had done it, Pam, but maybe not. But everything eventually, every county is going to have it shut down. I'm hoping, like this other store that I read you their information, that they're going to stay open as long as they can. And they're doing everything that they can, bringing in even more employees to keep it open longer and make sure everything's sanitized, making sure that people have the best shopping experience and still can get the things that they need. Now, I also got an email from, what was it, the Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight said the same thing. I got that email either yesterday morning or the morning prior to that. But Harbor Freight is doing the same thing. They want to guarantee that they can keep their store open, and they want to guarantee that you can still buy the things that you need for your family, for your business, etc. So that's another organization that's doing its best to stay open during this crisis. I also got a memo earlier today for me and everybody else to stop buying masks. I'm not going to ask you to stop buying masks. Yes, Brian, I'm watching the chat, guys. Yes, Brian, he asked, can they ban you from the airport under a state of emergency? Yes, they can. Barbara's talking about Delaware being under a state of emergency. That doesn't surprise me. Thank you for that, Barbara. Walgreens, you can still order things online, free delivery, as long as they can deliver. Are they going to continue to deliver? I ordered some things from Amazon and they came yesterday. We just have to be careful. We have to be careful. Kathleen, if you're asking what kind of water, we bought water We bought cases of water from Costco yesterday, and both cases of water were contaminated. We got to take them back. But folks, watch what you're doing. And Leah, I think we can still order stuff from Amazon. I hope we can still order things from Amazon. Just Listening said we need to sterilize our mail too. I was told by the Postal Service this morning that our mail is safe, even coming from China. They say it's safe because it takes a long period of time for whatever we order from China to get here to our doorstep. And it's handled many other times. And I understand that they are testing some of the packages to make sure the things are getting through without contamination. I hope they're right. I hope they're right. Leah, I hope the cat food's going to be good. Now, I heard a week or so ago that some animal foods come from China. So we have to be careful on getting food from China. Yes, viruses can live on surfaces for 9 days. In some cases, I've heard it's even longer. But yes, your local mail, I wouldn't open anything at this point in time. If I get a letter in the mail, I'm going to wipe it down. If you wipe the envelope down, or when you get the mail, you're wearing a rubber glove, and then you know what to do once you wash the envelope down and you get through the glove. You turn it inside out over your hand and put it in a plastic bag and take it out immediately to your trash can. Don't leave that kind of trash in your home where you might be contaminating your home. And Scooter Pie says she's been decontaminating everything from the store. Good idea. I wouldn't trust the mail, even though they said it's perfectly safe. It bothers me. And it's presumptive cases too. Pam was talking about Northampton County as their first presumptive case. In other words, they've run a test, a preliminary test, and it came back positive. But before they say it's for sure, they send that sample of specimen to the CDC for them to test it. And it sometimes takes up to 2 days. Okay. Richard, I don't know about zapping it in the microwave. I don't know. And if you zap it in the microwave and there happens to be fumes from whatever's on that package or that piece of mail or something, I wouldn't want that microwave energy throwing that into the air either. I don't think that'd be good. But please just take your time and think things out, how you're going to protect yourselves. How you're going to protect yourselves. When you go shopping, we mentioned this last night when we did our marathon with everybody on the network. I think only 2 people that are on our network that didn't show up. But we mentioned decontaminating your cart, your shopping cart. Wipe it down with a sterile cloth. And now Walmart, I know for a fact, has these Lysol things you can pull out of the canister, and you can wipe your cart down. You can wipe the handles down. Use it, please. Take care of yourself. If you go shopping and you carry a Lysol spray thing, you can even use that. But be safe with what you do. And once you get your groceries home, you're bringing stuff in from their store, and it could be contaminated. I'd be very careful. And Puka says, wear gloves to get your mail and disinfect anything you wish to keep. True. True. And there could be medical particles in ink. I've heard that too. Thank you for pointing that out, Pamela. Puerto Rico, Linda says, has 17 cases. And if it blows up in her house, we'll be full of grandkids. We don't want that to happen either. I've got a precious granddaughter running around upstairs right now. Linda asked about anyone traveling from state to state during the state of emergency. Be careful with that. Some states are telling you to stay home. Some cities and towns and states are asking you to stay home. Utah just did today. Stay home. School districts are telling their teachers and staff, don't leave the city or the state. And if you do, you might not be welcome back, at least right away. And why Puka says Washington State is considering not allowing travel there. Okay, it doesn't surprise me, not at all. Brian, I don't know whether you can travel state to state by car. I wish I knew. I wish I could tell you that. And yes, Pamela, Tom Hanks and his wife were said to have had the coronavirus last night. That also came out in the news. Yes, President Trump did state last night that domestic travel may be restricted in the future. It depends on if we get a handle on the spread of the virus. What is happening is that people are getting in too close contact with each other, and they're catching the virus from somebody else, whoever has it. They are recommending that no one get within 6 feet of each other unless we're in the family and we live in the same house. That's a little bit different. But everybody else are recommending 6 feet. And one school district here closed. The Murray School District, Murray, Utah School District. Murray is a suburb of Salt Lake City, just north of where we live. And Murray, Utah, their school district canceled school from today on. No more school in that district. And Sandy said Tennessee's reported 18 cases. Yeah. In fact, I got a memo from Mel about Colorado this morning. Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment confirmed 11 new positive cases of the coronavirus as of this morning, Thursday, bringing the total number of presumptive positives to 44 in Colorado, where it was just 11 yesterday. The numbers are literally doubling and even tripling in some cases, folks. Okay, so just be careful. Just be careful. The state of Colorado, 44 cases already. We have 3 so far in Salt Lake, one of which was in Summit County, where they declared a state of emergency there. And you can't have any more than 50 people getting together there now. It's unreal. It's really unreal. I just got notified, by the way, we've had a moderate 4.5 magnitude earthquake near Potosi, Bolivia. We've had a 4.4 moderate quake in the Kermadec Islands. Kermadec Islands today had a 5.0. Luzon, Philippines had a 5.2. They had a 5.2 off the east coast of Japan today. Yeah, the east coast of Japan, 5.2. In fact, let me go over here and pull up information I get a lot of my information from those of you that watch this program, and you guys know who you are. And I get the information when I go out and research this stuff myself. But this morning, there were a list of earthquakes that happened overnight. Let me pull it up here. Okay. I don't know why it's not letting me do this. But it's not. Okay, I'll do it from my phone. Not a problem. I keep an eye on everything going on. Also, I want to thank the Times and Signs for making sure we have all the information that we need. Times and Signs does a marvelous job of making sure we have information. I want to thank her. I want to thank the management and owners of the Freedom Revolution Network for all they do to make sure we have the information we have. I can't tell you how thankful I am for those ladies, Mel and Scarlett. You guys are awesome, better than awesome. And we had Scarlett and Mel on the program last night with us, and Tim and Red. By the way, today also Norway has declared a state of emergency throughout their country. Norway has. What is going on there? Quite honestly, I think they have like 67 cases of the coronavirus in Norway. And they declared a state of emergency today. No one is allowed to leave, and nobody is allowed to go or come back into the country after, I think, next Friday. They've asked that people that have left the country to come back to their country as soon as possible. So they literally have shut down Norway. And that's not the only one that's shut down. Germany and Switzerland as well. Okay. Planes are flying 2/3 empty, and it won't surprise me to find out that they shut down our aircraft from flying. That wouldn't surprise me at all. People that have been on aircraft have faked being sick with the COVID-19 virus, and they've had to take them off the plane, and they've had charges leveled against them once they're tested. It's like crying wolf in a crowded, or calling fire in a crowded theater. You don't do that either, but people have done it. Let's see. The U.S. is starting to close down manufacturing plants, Boeing, schools, clubs, sporting events. We've already talked about that. The cruise lines have ceased business for 60 days until mid-May. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to give you the earthquakes that happened this morning, well, during the night, and then I'll give you this afternoon's information. Okay, this is the information overnight. I am going to mention these earthquakes by the strength of the earthquake. This morning, This is the earthquake briefing from early this morning overnight. A 5.3 large earthquake hit in Tonga. A 4.0 moderate quake hit in the Madeira Islands near Portugal. Small earthquakes and a moderate earthquake of 4.6 have hit Iceland. Now, the subject was brought up earlier today, this afternoon, why Iceland was getting hit with earthquakes. The reason is simple, because they have a volcano. Actually, they have 3 volcanoes, one of which is called Torbjorn. The Torbjorn volcano is active and it has not been putting up magma as of yet. However, there have been earthquakes underneath that volcano and they're expecting it to erupt at any time. So that's why we're getting earthquakes in Norway. Iceland, not Norway, Iceland. A 3.0, 3.2, and a moderate 4.6 hit Iceland today. Also be advised, over off the east coast of Greenland. The east coast of Greenland had an earthquake today. I'm going to try to bring that up. So we had an earthquake on the east coast of Greenland. We had an earthquake over in Iceland today. Yesterday we had an earthquake over in the mid-central Atlantic Ocean. Okay, come on, there we go. And actually it was the mid-Atlantic Ocean one was at 1 o'clock this morning, about 1:30, 1:27 this morning. The southern mid-Atlantic ridge, right in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, excuse me, right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, hit a 4.9, 5.0. This morning, the earthquake, it hit Iceland, was a moderate 4.6. And then there was one on the north mid-Atlantic ridge, right between Greenland and Svalbard Island. Greenland, between Svalbard and Greenland. Okay, it was up there. Luring, China had a 5.0 today. Luring, China. 2 3.3, a 3.8, well, 2 3.8s and a 5.1. That's 2 3.3s and 2 3.8s hit, and a large 5.1 magnitude earthquake hit Java, Indonesia today. New Britain, Papua New Guinea had a 4.5 moderate quake today. Off the coast of Honshu Island, we had a 3.9 and a 5.2. Off the coast of Kamchatka, the east coast of Kamchatka, near the Aleutian Island chain, we had a moderate 4.8. Down in southern Mexico, we had a 4.0 and a 4.1. 2 moderate earthquakes, 4.0, 4.1 off the coast of Oaxaca, Mexico. A 4.3 in Guerrero, Mexico, up in the central part of Mexico. 0 earthquakes in California overnight. 0. Now, I made comment about it because people were wondering, why didn't we have any earthquakes in California earlier today and overnight? Folks, when we get a silent zone developing, it doesn't matter where the silent zone is, this happens to be in California. What do we know about silent zones? When we get a silent zone, we start looking for large earthquakes. When it becomes a silent zone, there usually is a reason. We're looking for a large earthquake in California. Today, a 2.2 small quake, minor quake hit Oklahoma. A 2.0 hit in Washington State today, a 2.1 in Nevada, a 3.5 in Kansas, and lots of 2s and 3s in Turkey. That's what happened overnight. Now I have a quake report for today that happened today. This afternoon, a 3.5 magnitude quake hit in Mindanao, Philippines. If you remember, back in September, October, November time period, we had a 6.3, 6.5, 6.7, and a 7.1 in the center of Mindanao Island, Philippines, the South Island of Philippines, where Davao City is. And it basically destroyed Davao City. They had the buildings were destroyed and uninhabitable. Schools had to be closed because the school district buildings were destroyed from those earthquakes. We also had a 3.1 in Nicaragua today. Nicaragua. Now, I'm going to bring you guys over to the map. I'm going to show you the map. Yes, there we go. Okay, I'm showing you guys the map. Okay. This is the earthquake over on the southwest corner of Iceland today. That's where the Torbjorn volcano is. We talked about this one in blue over in China, southwestern China, just above India. We talked about this one over in the southern mid-Atlantic ridge between South America and Africa. That hit today. Over here in Kansas. Kansas had a 3.5 magnitude quake. Harrington, Kansas, 3.5 magnitude quake. Mentone/Van Horn, Texas, had a 2.8. Okay, the other agencies say it's Mentone. This one says Van Horn. Basically the same difference. Okay. Over here in Tonga, we talked to you about a 5.3 magnitude quake there today. Over here in Papua New Guinea, we told you about this 4.5 today. Over here in Sarangani, Philippines, we have a 4.5 magnitude quake. Now, USGS is not showing, yes, they are, right here. Java, Philippines. Wonosari, Indonesia had a 5.1 today. This earthquake over 52 or 5.2 large quake, 105 kilometers west-southwest of San Nicolas, Philippines. Okay. We also had this other earthquake over Sarangani, Philippines, just south of Mindanao Island. Okay. This is Mindanao Island. This is Sarangani, Philippines down here. We told you about that earthquake that hit Mindanao Island today as well. USGS is not even showing that. Sad state of affairs when they don't show earthquakes. Over off the west coast of Japan, a large 5.3 hit there, 26 kilometers northwest of Nano, Japan. Okay, and then this earthquake not far from the Aleutian Islands, over off the coast of Kamchatka, Russia, the 4.8 magnitude earthquake there. Going over here to the Aleutian Islands, we had a 4.3 near 100, well, basically 105 miles south of Little Sitkin Island in Alaska, in the Aleutian Island chain. Okay, and then we can go up here, and again, USGS is not reporting all these earthquakes. There's a good sized swarm right here in south central Alaska. The only thing that USGS is reporting is this 3.8 in the Gulf of Alaska, 247 kilometers, approximately 130 miles southeast of Kodiak, 130 miles southeast of Kodiak. This other earthquake here at Redoubt Volcano, a 2.5 magnitude quake there. Now I'm going to take that out of sharing, and I'm going to show you what else is going on, because we're not getting the lowdown from the good old US agency. We're not getting what we need to know. And you'll excuse me a little bit. I was going to talk more about Cascadia today. I apologize, we're not doing that. I'm just giving you the lowdown of what's going on. Today in south central Utah, Mount Pleasant, Utah, had a 1.57 quake today. I'm sorry, doggone it. Let me turn down the light here. I keep forgetting that. Mount Pleasant, Utah, had a 1.37 earthquake. That is south central Utah. Okay. We go up to the Pacific Northwest, up near Arlington, Washington. We have a 0.7 there, Arlington, Washington. Then we've got 10 plus earthquakes. Can you even guess where this might be? Can you even guess where this might be? We had, let me start. There's a pretty good swarm of earthquakes. Pretty good swarm of earthquakes. I'm going to tell you where these are. A 1.8, 16 miles south-southwest of Morton, Washington. A 1.13, Tuttle, Washington, 16 miles southwest of Morton. 1.14 and a 1.75. Okay, we're not done here. 16 miles south-southwest of Morton, a 0.55. 16 miles south-southwest of Morton, a 0.54. That's right here, 0.54. Getting closer. 17 miles south-southwest of Morton, a 0.14. 0.16 right next to it. Oh, darn it. 0.16 right next to that. Then this one is going to tell you where this is. This is 25 miles south-southeast of Morton, 0.11. See the volcano? Mount St. Helens. Mount St. Helens. Remember yesterday, Mount St. Helens got hit? Now today, it's everything west and one east. Everything west and one east of Mount St. Helens. Okay, these are all the earthquakes that they had spread out all over. It was a good-sized swarm over here, and this one over right on the eastern flank of Mount St. Helens. It got hit. Now, what is south of there? Battleground, Washington had a 1.40. Battleground, Washington. Okay, that was just south-southwest of Mount St. Helens. So we had one, Packwood, Washington. Packwood. One there at the volcano. And then Mount St. Helens. So Rainier and St. Helens got hit today. Rainier and St. Helens got hit today. We had our normal earthquakes over here in the geysers and right over here near Lake Tahoe. Near Lake Tahoe. 10 plus earthquakes there. Truckee, California, 0.7. Silver Springs, Nevada, 1.0. 0.70 at Truckee, California, 1.8. Cold Springs, right not far from there. Another 0.4 in Truckee. And then there were several earthquakes just north and west of there as well. Truckee, California is here, and then these are just what northwest of there. Okay, it's moving. The ground is moving. Now we had no earthquakes during the night last night. These are earthquakes that have happened since then. Yosemite Lakes at 2.07. Now this is west of what? Mammoth Mountain, just west of Mammoth Mountain. Mammoth itself has had a few quakes. Mammoth itself had a few quakes. Okay. Here is the Mojave Desert. The Mojave Desert. Yes, we didn't have any quakes this morning, but we sure have them now. Olancha, California, 65 miles from where? Ridgecrest. Olancha, California had a 0.56. A minor quake, but that says our California desert there is still shaking. Independence, California, 0.94. Several earthquakes there. Little Lake, we're going down south from Olancha. Little Lake, California is getting hit. Swarming all the way down to Ridgecrest. All the way down to Ridgecrest. Cerros Valley, 1.148. 1.48, I should say. We have throughout Cerros Valley, we have 1.82s, 1.90, 1.4, 1.6. All over the valley there, Cerros Valley. Tons of quakes, folks. Tons of quakes, and this is just a small portion of them. Okay, it's hitting. That whole area is getting hit. Nothing happened on the nothing happened on the fault between Cerros Valley, Ridgecrest area, and Los Angeles today. It's been quiet. It's too quiet. Okay, let's go over towards LA. Corona, California. Let's start there. Corona, California, 0.99. And I'm just going to read them off here. Cullimore, California. Loma Linda, where the Loma Linda Medical Center is, 1.10. Glen Avon isn't far from Loma Linda. Okay. Desert Hot Springs. And all these earthquakes are on the San Andreas Fault. You can see the San Andreas Fault running through here. They're all there. Okay. Now I'm watching the time. I believe we have to be off here so another program can start in 15 minutes. But I wanted to show you these. We're having swarmage, swarms of quakes down in Southern California out into the Anza Gap. The Anza Gap, folks. Idlewild, California, 0.9, 0.01, 0.55, 0.95. La Quinta, California, 0.23. A large swarm in the Anza Gap. A large swarm of earthquakes here in the Anza Gap area. Okay. Large swarm around the Anza Gap today. Borrego Springs, northeast San Diego County mountains, Chocolate Mountains, 0.8. 0.8 there. 1.42 just west of there in Borrego Springs. 1.42 in Borrego Springs. Over towards San Diego. Julian, California again. Julian is in the mountains just southwest of Borrego Springs. Julian had two earthquakes, a 0.96 and a 0.77 in Julian today. Further south of there, Ocotillo, California, going over towards going over to the Salton Sea. Ocotillo, California, 1.19 today. Ocotillo. Then we move over to the Imperial Valley, just southwest of the Salton Sea. Imperial, California. Imperial City, California, 1.27 today. Right here is Imperial City. You notice where the Salton Sea is? Salton Butte volcano right in here. There's Imperial City. That's where they had the earthquake today. And then they had one on the south side near the border, Pueblo, BC. They say they're calling it just across the border. I think this earthquake was actually in the United States, not in Pueblo. Okay, that's what happened there. Going over really quick to West Yellowstone. We had a number of quakes in Yellowstone. However, we're still not getting the full rundown. The full rundown what's happening in Yellowstone. North of Yellowstone in Canada, we had a 2.8 near Alberta, Canada. 2.8 near Alberta. South of there, Libby, Montana, 1.47. Libby, Montana is the northern part of the Yellowstone magma chamber. Libby, Montana. South of there, 25 miles east of Rowan, Montana, is 0.53. Then we had a small swarm there. Let's go down here south real quick. Look at this. We had a 0.98 and a 0.62. Two earthquakes there. South of there, 31 miles west of West Yellowstone, is 0.83. Going east from there, almost directly east, a 1.49 and a 0.79, 24 miles from Old Faithful Geyser. Okay, now these, of course, are not the only earthquakes they're telling us about. Mary Greeley has other reports that says, yes, we did have earthquakes there, but they're just not telling us about it. Milford, Central Utah, over by the Black Rock Desert Volcano, had a 0.13, and in Monroe, Utah, a 0.97, just off of Interstate 15 in Central Utah. Central Utah. USGS was reporting one quake in Oklahoma. Look how many there really were. Okay, let's briefly touch base there. Oklahoma. Actually, Hope, Kansas. Let's start there. A 3.5 in Hope, Kansas. Now that's a significant quake for Hope, Kansas. Again, every one of these towns where these earthquakes hit are in oil and gas drilling operations areas. So Hope, Kansas gets hit by a 3.5 today. Going down to Fairview, Oklahoma, we had a 1.79, just barely northeast of there. In Helena, Oklahoma, a 0.93. Just south and east of there, a 2.13, also in Helena, just south and east of the first one. And northeast of there in Medford, Oklahoma, a 1.73. And one more to report there. In Blanchard, Oklahoma, we had a 1.34. So the oil and gas drilling operations are getting hit. Oil and gas drilling operations are getting hit. Today in Lilburn, Missouri, on the northern end of the New Madrid Fault, we had a 2.04, Lilburn, Missouri. Okay, this is on the northern side of the New Madrid Fault. 2.04 there. Today, we did not have any earthquakes in Quebec or anywhere near the East Coast of the United States. This is the first day we haven't had any quakes there in some time. We had like 7 or 8 earthquakes right here off of Rhode Island and North Carolina and Virginia. Why do we have these earthquakes there? Okay, yesterday we did. Why do we have these earthquakes? Because there are volcanoes. There are volcanoes everywhere out here. There's like 6 or 7 volcanoes out here, just off the coast of the United States. Okay? We have volcanoes everywhere off the coast there. And some scientists believe that this is why we've had earthquakes off the East Coast as of late. Just wanted to show you that. Okay? I just wanted to show you that. Over off of Labrador Sea, off the coast of Canada, we just had a 3.4 reported there. 3.4 up off the northeast coast of Canada, 3.4 near Labrador. And again, over here in Iceland, we had 10 earthquakes in Iceland. And then we had that one earthquake up here in the northern Svalbard, Jan Mayer area, a 4.2 there. I mentioned that to you earlier. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that we also had an earthquake further north than that. Oh man, why did it do that? Okay, this is near Jan Mayen, but we had another earthquake further up north here. Svalbard is here, but we had another earthquake of 4 right up in here earlier today. Okay, just so you'll know. Just so you know. Now, we had mentioned, or someone mentioned to us earlier today, we had a 1.9 in the Canary Islands. We wanted to show you that tonight. 1.9 there. And then off the coast of Portugal, a 4.0 in the Madeira Islands that we mentioned. Okay, Madeira Islands. And then up in the Azores. Well, actually, it's not in the Azores, it's in Portugal. Portugal, we had a 2.39 and a 2.80 right next to each other in Portugal. The Azores are right here, right off the coast there. But right there in Portugal, we had 2 small earthquakes today. Okay. And north of there, on the north southern end, actually it's not the north, it's the southwestern end of France, we had a 3.1 there. Southwestern France, a 3.1. Looks like it's near Normandy, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, folks, we got to get off the air and let another person in here. I'm not sure who it is that'll be joining us with their program at 8 o'clock, but we have about 6 minutes to get off here. I just wanted to show you there is a straight line of quakes at the border of Italy and France today. We had a 2.6 going north to south, a 2.6, a 2.2, and a 1.6. 3 earthquakes in a row there today on the border of Italy and France, going north and south. We haven't seen that in a very, very long time there. A very, very long time. Northern Italy near Umbria, Italy, a 2.3. Those poor people there. Poor people there. Sicily had, just off the north west coast of Sicily, we had a 2.1 there. All right. Up in Albania, we had a 2.6. Then going down here into Greece, we had a bunch of 1s today. A bunch of 1s. Anyway, that's pretty much a comprehensive look at the earthquakes that we've had today. I'm sorry we didn't have a lot of time for Cascadia today. We've just been very busy pulling information for you in regards to everything going on. Everything going on. Kathleen, going back here to the chat room, Kathleen says the Walmarts in affected areas are closing for 2 weeks, like Kentucky and Washington, other large cities, cutting hours. Okay. Linda, I hope you have a good night. Sheila, thank you very much too. We appreciate you all being here. Larry says, thanks, Ron. The new list will be out in the morning. See you there. Yes, we will. We'll be monitoring things pretty closely tonight. I have a feeling tonight's going to be very busy, guys. So we're going to keep an eye on it tonight. If anything other than that happens, Larry, and you find it, I find, I'll text you and let you know. Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate all of you being here with us. We greatly appreciate all the help that you are to us. Please know that we love you. We ask the Lord's blessings to be upon you. We always will and always have. We feel very close to all of you. You're my brothers and sisters. Honestly, you are. I want you to know that. God bless you guys. Take care of yourselves. If anything else happens during the night, we'll be back on the air with Scarlett probably to tell you about it as soon as the information presents itself. Until then, as Walter Cronkite would say, and that's the way it is. Thursday, March 12th, 2020. For Emergency Management Associates, my name is Ron Tyler. Have a great night, folks. See you soon. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. God bless.